Hey, what's up out there in YouTube land? It's your boy the Ruxman, back with the wonderful world of Rux. Just gonna be doing things a little bit differently today, guys. I know a lot of you been asking me a little bit of questions because I've been doing some PC gaming, console gaming, and you guys want to know how to upgrade your PC if it's even possible. Well, we're gonna get started with some 101 today, guys. Let's jump right into it. What we're gonna be doing today is I bought this actual PC, and let me zoom out a little bit so you see it a little better. I bought this actual PC a couple of years back. I'd say maybe 3 to 4 years ago for my wife to play The Sims on. And it was a very good computer. It's, you know, got 12 megabytes of RAM. It had a 1 terabyte hard drive. I think it was like 3.8 gigahertz processor. So more than enough to play The Sims. But as time went on and she got into other games like Guild Wars and other things like that, you know, the computer was no longer enough and we had to do some upgrades. First upgrade that you always do when you're trying to get a game running a little bit better, and I'm gonna go back here to the rear, what they call the rear IO. Now on the back of this portion right here that you see with all this stuff here, is the rear IO. That's the motherboard. So let me turn it sideways so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, there you go. So that's the motherboard right there. All these different connections come from the motherboard. So if you ever look at an actual computer and notice, like right here, you've only got a couple of USB ports and you need more, you're gonna want to upgrade the motherboard. That's what you want to do. You don't have an HDMI, but this one does. But if you didn't, you want to upgrade your motherboard, and so forth and so on. Now down here at the bottom is the major upgrade that you always look for right there. This particular thing right here, what I'm pointing at, and I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. Let's get it zoomed out. That is the video card. Now the video card basically controls the graphics, you know, on how high you can set the settings on a game. So if you have a much better video card, of course, you'll be able to run things in a higher resolution, 1080p, 60 frames per second, all that good stuff. It does go with processor, RAM, and all that, but major upgrade would be the video card. So this is where we started with my wife, is working on the video card. And then after that, the next thing you want to do is make sure that your power supply, which is this thing right here, has enough power to support the new video card that you're going to be putting in. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive right into this thing. We're not going to take a lot of time talking about it. I'm sure we talked a lot already. First thing you want to do is you want to take the screws off. All right. Unscrew this thing. I've already loosened up the screws, put them somewhere where you can find them. I'll probably lose these, but don't worry, people. I've got other screws around the house. Actually, I'll throw these off to the side. Now, what you see me working on here is an actual mod-right anti-static mat. And the reason for that is whenever you're working with electronics, you want to ground yourself. One big way that people ground themselves is they'll just touch themselves to the case every now and again because it's metal to disperse any static electric charge on them. But with this mat, you can hook it up to the case and also hook on this metal strap to your wrist, like so. Just slide that on there, you'll see it. There we go. Put that on there. And then you can clamp this to the case, and that'll keep you somewhat grounded for now. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna dive right into this, and I'm gonna stop the video for a second so I can open up the case. Most of you, matter of fact, I'll do it right here because most cases will slide right off like this. You'll grab it, you heard that little click, and this side panel will come right off, and you can throw that off to the side. Okay, now let me just flip this camera around, get you guys a good angle for the inside. Okay, so hopefully for many of you, this is not your first time seeing inside of an actual computer. Some of you have probably opened up your computer before and replaced these little things down here. These are called the RAM, virtual memory RAM. This one has 12, 4 in each slot, 4, 8, 12, and then there's another slot if you want to put 16 in there. Right here, that's the actual cooler. That cools your actual CPU, your central processing unit, your i5 or your AMD chip, whatever you guys know it as. This up here is that power supply we talked about, what supplies power to the actual computer. As you can see, this one has 350 watts, and that's what it's actually giving off to power up the tiny little graphics card that we have in here. Now, when you're upgrading the graphics card, it's pretty straightforward. The first thing you want to have, of course, is you want to have some, like I said, you want to have a safe surface. Make sure you're not conducting any electricity and everything like that. But you also want to have your tools. See those tools over there, guys? You want to have a toolkit. You can do this with basic tools, but, you know, I just find it a little easier to have everything handy and ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll start uninstalling that graphics card very easily. Now, all you have to do to remove this baby is go around back, just right back there. And what you want to do, this one's not screwed in anything special, as you can see, but it does have this little protective clamp here that sometimes it'll hinder you and get in the way. Every computer's different. You'll just have to feel yours out, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll give this guy a little twist here and start unscrewing it. I should have done this earlier so you don't have to watch me unscrew screws, but that's the magic of video editing. So now that screw is removed, we can take this little piece right here. Now, like I said, every computer is different. Now, what that piece was doing was holding the graphics card in place so that you couldn't get it out of there or it wouldn't wiggle free. Kind of like a safeguard for it. Very good use, but we didn't need that right now. So let's jump right back into this and I'll show you how we get this thing out of there. Okay, so now we're back. Like I said, we're all grounded. We can touch this actual thing. If you want to see, we'll touch it again. The metal case, ground ourselves, come back down here. Now, if you can see this, you see that little blue little thing right here? Let's move it off to the side. This is what releases the lock that holds the graphics card in place. All you need to do is push down on it and it'll pop up. You heard the little click, and then the graphics card is free. So now all we have to do is grab the card and kind of give it a little wiggle, and it comes right out of there. All right, now for you guys, that is the little slot right there. It's called the PCIe or PCI Express slot, and I'll show you where it says that. You probably can see it now. I'll zoom in. There it goes, PCIe slot right there. That is where your graphics card would go. Now, when you go out today and buy a upgraded graphics card, I'm gonna tell you straight up and down right now, this is like bare bones, probably like a $40 card. The card that you're gonna wanna put in your computer is probably gonna range around $150 to $200 for an entry-level card that's gonna run really well and keep you from upgrading for a while. Of course, that's based on what you're doing and based on the person and what you're trying to do. But if you're getting a card, do keep in mind, nowadays, that was a single slot card right there. So you see only one of these little slots right here off to the side are missing. When you get another card, a much bigger card, you're gonna have to take out two. So you're gonna probably have to remove one of these shields, these little IO shields out, so that you have two spaces for your graphics card to give you access. So we're just gonna stop the video right there. Don't want to overkill you guys on the first video. Just want to demystify some of this stuff for you. I will continue through with the series, just breaking down this computer and putting some other stuff in it so that you guys feel a little more comfortable with going ahead and upgrading your computers. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below, as it does help the channel out tremendously. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done so. follow us on social media. The links will be down in the description below. And as always, slow down, but never stop. Ruxman out. Love you, baby.
The wonderful world of Rux.
Crazy mother.